playoff atmosphere as one team is trying to wrap up a division out west last night. Dodgers and Padres from L.A. Dodgers can clinch the NL West with a win. Bottom 7, Shohei Ohtani at the plate. This was 2-0 San Diego coming into the 7th, and after that from Ohtani, it's 3-2. He would later reach 400 total bases for the season. First player to do that since 2001. He said he came to the stadium really wanting to clinch. Well, the 7th inning would continue, and that's Mookie Betts serving that into right. Dodgers would take a commanding 5-2 lead. Betts 2 for 4, drove in a couple. If you're looking for a fly in the ointment here, keep an eye on Freddie Freeman. That's a hot shot right side, but the collision at first with Luis Arraez, more of the collision with the bag, if we're being honest, and he rolls his ankle, going out awkwardly trying to avoid the tag. You see it right there. Oh, man, that turns my stomach. Oh, okay. X-rays reveal no structural damage. He was in a walking boot after the game. He would have to leave the game, as you see why. Top 9, you got the Dexter sheets up for the Champagne. Dodgers up 7-2. Padres down to their final out. And that's it. Their 11th division title in 12 years.
Pretty good.
They hadn't clinched at home in front of actual fans since 2018. I'm happy for Shohei Ohtani getting to finally celebrate a trip to the postseason there, popping bottles in that clubhouse. So look at the NL playoff picture is as follows. Phillies trailing the Dodgers by a game overall for the top overall seed. And then there are the Padres, who lead the pack in the wild card by 3 games. The Mets, D-backs, and Braves all separated by just 1 game. Arizona and San Diego will play each other 3 times this weekend. Meanwhile, Mets and Braves will play a doubleheader on Monday to close out the regular season.
All right, as promised, Buster Olney back on the program. Man, we had ankles turning from coast to coast. You saw that last night, Thursday Night Football, and then, of course, Freddie Freeman. Fortunately for the Dodgers, they clinched the NL West. What more can you tell us, though, on Freeman's injury, Buster?
Yeah, Gary, he walked off the field with help and then immediately went in the X-ray tube, and they determined that it's not broken. But as you mentioned, he was in a walking boot after the game, and the Dodgers believe that he's going to be okay for when they begin their playoffs a week from tomorrow in the division series. He's actually going to stay back in Los Angeles, away from the rest of the Dodgers, and get treatment this weekend while they're playing in Colorado. He'll continue to get treatment all through next week. And then, of course, the big question is, when they resume play, how much will this affect Freddie Freeman and his ability to hit and help Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts?
A little bit more good news, too. Obviously, the Dodgers clinching. That also means they get that first-round bye, so maybe a little extra time for Freeman to get back. Meanwhile, his former team in the Bravos just a game back from the Mets and the D-backs in a wild card race. Chris Sale was slated to start on Wednesday against the Mets before the game rained out the game. Max Fried gets the nod tonight against the Royals. Buster, why not throw your ace in this spot?
Yeah, this was a really interesting decision. The Braves have essentially turned Chris Sale into their break glass in case of emergency guy, right? So they go with Max Fried tonight. I think if the Braves at any point in the next couple of days get to the cusp of elimination, that's when Chris Sale will take the ball. Look, they know he can only pitch once over the next 5 days, and if they finesse it in the right way, and if they can actually make the playoffs without having to use Chris Sale before the end of the regular season, he could be lined up to pitch game 1 of the playoffs on Tuesday. Look, the strength of the Braves is their starting rotation. It's not like they're lacking for options.
Max Fried, certainly no slouch, but it is, like Buster said, good to have options. Buster Olney joining us this morning. Back with you on SportsCenter, and the regular season is coming down to the wire. The Yankees, once again, AL East champs. They have 20 of them. They take care of business last night against the Orioles, make that 21. Also on the line, what about a first-round bye in home field in the ALDS? Giancarlo Stanton took note of that. 27th home run of the season, giving the Pinstripes a 1-0 lead. So the offense, good. Defense and pitching, delivering. Garrett Cole, swinging a miss, 95 right down central. Colton Cowser, see you later. Then Seti Mullins on another fastball. What about 6 2/3? Just allowed 2 hits, 0 earned runs. Baltimore riding a 4-game win streak at Yankee Stadium. Is that going to come to a screeching halt? Stanton again. Nice little poke. Yankees up 2-0. With the bases loaded, that's going to clear them. So the Yankees jump on top 5-0. They close out the series hosting the Pirates for 3. The Orioles have to go on the road to the Twin Cities to take on the Twins. Bottom of the 7th, Yankees now 7-0. This home run very much like a heated toilet seat. Do you need it? No. Is it nice? For sure.
There we go.
A little bit of insurance.
I was wondering.
Aaron Judge has homered in 5 straight games. That ties the longest streak of his career. Yankees win 10-1. Their 21st AL East crown. Pop those bottles. Here's a look at the current AL playoff picture with 3 regular season games left. All 3 divisions have been clinched, with the Yankees holding that 1-game lead over the Guardians for the top overall seed. Meanwhile, the Orioles in good position to earn the top wild card billing. They will visit again the Twins for a 3-game set this weekend. Minnesota trailing the Tigers and the Royals by 3 games. Their elimination number, 1.
Senior writer Buster Olney is with us, and Buster, Gary just ran through it. We wait now on the 2 final AL wildcard spots. You got the Royals, Tigers, and Twins. You spoke to the Tigers ace yesterday. What did he tell you about the team, about the Tigers' play down the stretch?
Yeah, Tarek, Randy, excuse me. He told me that the players began talking about this playoff possibility 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you can understand why it wasn't necessarily a front burner conversation for them, because on August 10th, they were 8 games under 500. And Randy, since then, they are 30-11. That's 118 win pace over a quarter of the season. They've been gathering momentum, playing great. They've gotten some guys back from the injured list. Tarek also mentioned to me the leadership of their manager, A.J. Hinch, who, of course, came over from the Houston Astros. And he mentioned how Hinch, on a day-to-day basis, keeps the players focused on the work at hand. Yesterday, he was in the clubhouse standing over a putting green and helping to relax the players at this time as they move closer to clinching a playoff spot.
Yeah. Well, Tarek Skubal has been a big reason for that. Tigers haven't made the World Series since 2012, haven't even made the playoffs since 2014. That's the good, now the bad and the sad. We saw an end of an era in Oakland yesterday, a celebration, but truly just a sad day at the Coliseum, because it was the last day for the Athletics at the Coliseum. The fans packed the place to say goodbye after 57 years of A's baseball in the East Bay. Saw some awesome familiar faces. Barry Zito sang the national anthem. Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson throughout the ceremonial first pitches. But that right there, the tears from the fans who have put up with a lot of bad baseball. Former A's player and now manager Mike Kotze addressing the crowd.
On behalf of my staff, myself, this team, all the past players and coaches, there are no better fans than you guys. Thank you for your lifelong support of the Oakland A's. And I ask you for one more time to start the greatest cheer in baseball. Let's go, Oakland!
Buster, you began covering baseball in 1989, and that was the year of the earthquake and of the World Series win for this team. What is your favorite Oakland Coliseum memory?
So my most outstanding memory would be from the 2001 playoffs when you had the Derek Jeter flip play. The Yankees were on the precipice of being eliminated by the A's, and Derek ranges from his position at shortstop across the first base foul line and flips the ball to Jorge Posada to preserve a Yankee lead as they make their way toward the World Series. And what I remember is the Yankee players on those teams talked about how uncomfortable it was to play in Oakland because the fans were so passionate. They were loud with the horns and the banging of the drums. Look, it was absolutely an incredible fan base, and to see their emotion yesterday was heartbreaking.
A lot of foul territory, too, so those fans had to be loud so they could be heard there at the Coliseum. Buster's going to be back later in the show to talk nationally.
One win away from clinching the NL West for a 3rd year in a row and for the 11th time in the last 12 years. Bottom 7, Dodgers down 2-0. Man on for Will Smith. 50 season, 400 total bases. Dodgers have a 1-game lead on the Phillies for the best.
So the other night, moments after Shohei Ohtani had become the first player ever to go 50-50, 50-plus homers, 50-plus steals in one season, I recorded a video with a stunned and potentially knee-jerk overreaction that the case had just been closed, that Shohei's the baseball GOAT. My man Deion Sanders backed me up the other day when he said, and I quote, "Ohtani, he's incredible, man. You can compare him to the Jordans and the Tom Bradys of the world. That's who he is. He's doing things we haven't fathomed," said Deion Sanders, who did start in center field and bat leadoff for those teams that I previously mentioned. Deion knows what he's talking about when it comes to baseball. And yes, sir, Ohtani is doing things we have not fathomed. He's about to win his third MVP in 4 seasons. And of course, when his arm has been healthy, the man has gone 38-19 as a pitcher, including an ERA right at 3. In 2022, he finished 4th in the Cy Young race with an ERA of 2.33. Extraordinary. And he's now stolen 55 bases at 6 feet 4 inches tall and 210 pounds. And he, who knows, may wind up leading the league in homers for a second straight year. Lord have mercy. No player has ever been this all-around versatile. I mean, Babe Ruth couldn't run. Barry Bonds didn't have much of an arm. Ohtani is actually what you'd call a 6-tool player, maybe the first ever 6-tool player. He can throw from deep right field to third base, and he can pitch. Top 5 pitcher pitch. Ohtani is definitely the tools GOAT. But here's where I overreacted. Conclusion jumped. I wasn't thinking at that crazy moment, that goosebumps moment, that Shohei Ohtani has never played in the postseason. Not a single swing, not a single pitch. As you probably know, I'm all about the playoffs, the money games, the ones that really matter. Now, do I think Ohtani will be great when it matters most? I do. But he's now the best player on the Dodger team favored to win it all. Time to back that up. Maybe time for me to calm down just a little, just for a moment. So this is what's dawned on me. Identifying the baseball GOAT is way, way more complicated than concluding Michael Jordan, obviously, and Tom Brady, obviously. The problem is the most valuable players in baseball are starting pitchers who can pitch only every 5th or 6th or sometimes even 7th day, unless they're Ohtani or Babe Ruth. So baseball was my first love when I was a kid, but Babe Ruth was even before my time. So I did read some written for kids biography of the Babe. It really didn't do his career much justice, and not until last night did I look hard at what he accomplished. Of course, until Hank Aaron came along, Ruth was obviously the greatest home run hitter ever, finished with 714. But I did not realize that Babe Ruth pitched Boston to 3 World Series titles, pitched them to the titles. In 2 World Series, he went 3-0 with an 0.87 ERA. He also led the league in ERA 1 year, along with going 23-12. Whew. Whoa. Wow. Yet, as you know, Babe Ruth did not have to compete against Black or Latin players. And as you probably know, Babe Ruth was a fat guy. So for me, those 2 factors somehow always disqualified him from being in the GOAT debate. which brings me to Barry Bonds. I had the honor and privilege of covering Michael Jordan in Chicago and Barry Bonds in San Francisco. Barry Bonds was the greatest hitter ever. Ain't even close. The only hitter who ever had the advantage over the pitcher. While Barry was winning 5 MVPs in San Francisco to go along with the 2 that he won previously in Pittsburgh, Barry Bonds shattered Roost's single-season records for walks and intentional walks and on-base percentage. That's because nobody would pitch to Barry Bonds. He'd only see, and I was at many of these games, maybe a couple of hittable pitches a night, and he would invariably hit those hard, either off or over the wall. And yes, I know all about the performance-enhancing drugs. Barry actually came late to that Maguire-Sosa party. But the steroids did not enhance Barry's ability to put bat on ball solidly, nearly every single swing, bat on ball with the rarest of hand-eye coordination. Steroids didn't help that. And by the way, Barry did win 8 Gold Gloves, and he did steal 52 bases one year in Pittsburgh. That was pre-steroids, before he got big. But I must admit, Barry's postseason numbers never quite lived up to his regular seasons. In fact, by his standards, they're pretty sorry, except for that one great World Series he played in, when late in Game 6, I was there, with a 5-0 lead and a ring nearing his finger, Barry started clowning around during a late at-bat. Then Dusty Baker looked like he was celebrating prematurely. And those Rally Monkey Angels fought back, and they won 6-5. Then they won Game 7, and Barry Bonds wound up with 0 rings. Not goatish.
Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball goes up for auction. How much could it sell for? The ball that Shohei Ohtani hit to become the first player in Major League Baseball, MLB, history to achieve the remarkable feat of 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a single season is now up for auction, sparking immense interest and speculation among collectors and sports fans alike. The highly anticipated auction was announced on Wednesday by Golden, one of the premier marketplaces for sports memorabilia and collectibles. The company revealed that it had successfully secured the coveted ball, and the bidding process is set to commence on Friday, creating a buzz around one of the most valuable pieces of baseball history to ever hit the auction block. The historic moment took place last Thursday during a game between Ohtani's team and the Miami Marlins. As the two-way superstar stepped up to the plate, the atmosphere was already charged with anticipation, given Ohtani's remarkable season. With a powerful swing, he sent the ball soaring into the stands, marking his 50th home run of the season. This milestone was significant not only because it marked 50 home runs but also because it solidified Ohtani's position as the first player to achieve 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases within a single MLB season. Fans in the Lone Depot Park, where the game took place, were sent into a frenzy as several individuals in the outfield seats scrambled to retrieve the ball, fully aware of its historic value. In what was arguably one of the finest performances of Ohtani's career, the star player had an unforgettable game, going 6-for-6 at the plate, which included hitting 3 home runs, stealing 2 bases, and driving in 10 RBIs. The final score was a dominant 20-4 victory, with Ohtani at the center of the action. According to Golden, the fan who ultimately secured the ball was quickly escorted by the stadium's security team to ensure the item's safety and authenticity. The ball was authenticated shortly afterward, cementing its status as a prized piece of sports history. Although the identity of the fan remains anonymous, it was reported by Andy Slater of Fox Sports 640 that they were offered an initial sum of $300,000 for the ball, a generous offer that was promptly declined. Within just a week, the ball made its way to Golden, where it is now set to be sold to the highest bidder. Ohtani is a truly one-of-a-kind player, and his incredible 50-50 season may well go down as his most extraordinary achievement to date. We are incredibly honored to present this iconic item to collectors around the world. This is more than just a piece of sports memorabilia, it's a slice of baseball history that fans and historians alike will cherish for generations, said Ken Golden, the founder and CEO of Golden, in a statement. His comments reflect the widespread belief that Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball is not only a symbol of personal triumph but also a landmark in the storied history of baseball itself. So, the question arises, how much could Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball ultimately sell for? Bidding on the ball through Golden's website will officially open on September 29 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, with a starting bid set at $500,000. However, for those who are eager to skip the bidding process, there is an option to purchase the ball outright for a staggering $4.5 million. The ball will remain available for immediate purchase up until October 9. But if the bidding reaches $3 million before that date, the option to buy it directly will be taken off the table, and the ball will remain in auction until the final bids are in. For those interested in participating in the extended auction, it is set to begin on October 16 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, allowing collectors and investors one last chance to claim the historic item. While it's impossible to predict the final selling price of the ball, there is speculation that it could set a new record for the most expensive baseball ever sold at auction. The current record for the highest-priced baseball was set in 1999 when the ball from Mark McGwire's 70th home run during his legendary home run chase was sold for an astonishing $3.05 million. That ball was purchased by none other than Todd McFarlane, a renowned comic book creator and artist. More recently, another significant home run ball garnered attention in the collectibles market, Aaron Judge's 60-second home run ball from the 2022 season, which broke the American League single-season home run record. That ball fetched a sum of $1.5 million at auction, making it the second most valuable baseball ever sold. With Shohei Ohtani's unique talents and global appeal, as well as the significance of the 50-50 milestone, many believe that his home run ball could surpass previous records. If it does, it would not only set a new benchmark in the world of sports collectibles but also further solidify Ohtani's place as one of the greatest and most influential players in baseball history.